They got one more win last year than they got this year, or one more win last year than the year before with Vinny Del Negro. Like and then too, he's got more responsibility. Like he's
the president.
Yeah, he's involved with the personnel. So the fact that they was coming off the bench with Big Baby, like it was like, here's my starting five and Jamal. Who else is here? Austin, I see you. I know if I don't play, your mom's gonna be pissed. And then there's Big Baby. We have history from Boston, but I really don't want to put you in the game either. You know what I mean? He's looking down the bench at cats like, God, I did this to us. Yes, Doc, you did. You did this to them. Well, Chris Paul got to play like 1,000,000 minutes on a bad hamstring every night. Yeah, sweet. So when it's time to play the blame game, and today is the day you do that. You know, after the day, brand new series starts tomorrow. So we who talk about these type of things, we can play the blame game. You know, there's enough to go around. There's enough to put on Blake Griffin, enough to put on Chris Paul. I wouldn't say as much.
DeAndre.
Which, by the way, apparently, and this is the type of stuff that happens too. Like when MFers lose, now all the drama comes out. Apparently now him and Chris Paul got beef, or had beef too, because that's their big thing this offseason. They have their trio, you know, DeAndre and Blake and Chris. So they want to apparently keep it together, but from all accounts, it's going to cost them $100 million with DeAndre. He's going to max out at 5 years for 100. Yeah. So that's that. But apparently now there's some sort of beef between he and Chris Paul that's been kind of simmering below the surface of the winds. You know, the winds have been kind of masking it and covering up, and so now they've kind of melted down or collapsed or whatever you want to label it as. Now it's all coming to the surface, and Chris Paul, I guess, or he and DeAndre have a situation. Well, here's the thing. It ain't going to go nowhere because Chris don't want none of that at all. So he
physically, right?
Even if Cliff there to help him, neither one of them don't want none of that deal. So they can either figure it out, and you know, because I'm not the dude that feels like you work with somebody, you have to be their friend. No, all we gotta do is have a common goal. If your common goal is to win ball games, win championships, who cares? You shouldn't. You're adults. Go home to the people who really love you. The people you work with don't have to. And I know it's a different dynamic because they're on the road together, and they have to spend so much time together when they're not, in their confines or in their city or whatever. But still, yet, Shaq, Kobe, let's go. Michael Jordan smacked Steve Kerr and still passed him the ball for a game winner. So just have a common goal. And everybody move forward.
Where that's called breaking them in. So he was like, when I pass you that ball, you know what you're going to get if you miss that shot, don't you?
Said breaking them in. The pokey?
Yeah,
Jailhouse rules apply.
That's what, you know what you're going to get. And next time it's going to be worse. Yeah, when I pass you the ball, you better be ready.
He put his hands on that dude. That's real talk. But, they was out there doing work, so whatever. It don't matter. So this whole situation about, these dudes, they don't like each other. It came out today. There's supposed to be some beef between, or before I get into that, I think I'm done with this Clippers thing. Clippers won. Excuse me. They wish. No, the Rockets won 113-100, winning the series in 7-4-3. Clippers at one point, as everyone probably knows at this point, but I find it my responsibility to tell you anyway, had a 3-1 lead.
3-1.
It sucks going on a losing streak at this time of year. And
3-1.
And I was thinking about this, man. Like this is not even like a real losing streak, because even like in the regular season when you go on a losing streak, like let's say for instance the Clippers go on a losing streak during the season, it's like, okay, it's at Portland, at home, then away across the country to Boston or something, and then to Atlanta. Right. You lose those 4 games. This is 3 straight games to the same damn team. A team who, by the way, in your 3 losses or 3 wins, beat them by 20-something points on average. Yeah, that's why it hurt, because this is not a team. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, the Clippers had 3 opportunities, man. 3 opportunities to close out the Rockets. 3. And if I couldn't get it done not once, that's all unbelievable.
Yeah, and you know how I am. Like, I'm the dude that's always like, okay, if a team is better than you, like sometimes the better team just wins, and trust me, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go through this during football season. like when I don't know, Georgia loses to Auburn or something, and then there'll be like everybody will have a million excuses of why Auburn won when really they may have just been better. We'll go through this, but this is not that case. This is not a team. This is not where you look at these two teams, you line them up and was like, man, yeah, Houston, man, they just so much better than the Clippers. No, negative. That's not the case. They just outplayed these dudes, and for whatever reason, these dudes were able to take three games after. They didn't even take 3 games, because that can happen, right? But this is a team that you saw yourself beat by 25 points the game before you melted down to them. And you were up by 19 in that game. Like you were on your way to another pushing it in that game. Before I don't know, Josh Smith just happened. Yeah, he and Corey Brewer just happened, and then it was like, oh God. You mean tell me we got to play a game 7? We weren't even prepared, and they weren't. They were not. Jesus H. Christ. Jay Smooth, my ass. Yeah, we go like, and it's good. I'm glad we went there. Yeah, I'm glad you said it. Before we move on, though, let me make sure because I want to move on to previewing the series as well as we move on to about. See, now it's math to be done. We're at like the 97-minute mark. So, whatever that means. I know when it gets to 120, it's time to stop. All right.
We have 23 minutes.
Thank you, sir. Told you guys. Get one good math problem out of me, and I gave it to you with the 8 pitches. What is it? 8 pitches an inning thing, or what was it? 10 pitches an inning. Yeah. So I'm out. Done. Clip empty. Okay. So before we get to the situation about previewing the next series, here's the thing, Rockets fans. I'm gonna say the same thing to you guys as I say to Hawks fans. Like, miss me with the whole respect situation. It goes back to exactly what I just got to talking about. Like, then all of a sudden, they win the series, and people are on Twitter losing their damn mind. And you wonder, like, why I know this? Because I have other businesses I do as well, and then people who I follow do business in Houston. So I see these things like, yeah, one dude just went totally all like, F ESPN, F the Clippers, F this, ain't nobody believing us. Yeah, but it's not like it was unwarranted. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like it was unfounded. Like, you was getting blew out every game. Every game. I just mentioned it. By 20-plus points. And then the one that the game 6 was 22. It was 20 in the third quarter. It was 19. Let's call it 20. Right? So, to be like, no one believed. You mean tell me this whole time you thought this team was going to come back? Like, when they were down 3-1. You really thought they were going to come back for the 9th time in the history of the game? And it was going to happen this weekend too. Come on, man. It's okay to be a realistic fan. I think it is. Maybe I'm off my rocker in that assumption. But I think it's all right to be a realistic fan. If you just happy your team won, cool. But that don't mean everybody else was an idiot. Your team played terrible. The team you root for played terrible. So everyone with any type of rationale, said this team is going to get it pushed in. And then that thing happens in game 6. And then it's like, uh-oh. And they're going home. You know what I mean? Like, when we had our conversation about it the other day, what'd I tell you? I was like, yeah, it has the whole feel of a Houston win. But I just didn't want myself to believe that this could happen, that I could witness this thing happen. That the guys that were wearing white, red, and blue were too good to allow this to happen. And they weren't. They absolutely weren't good enough. God. So now Dwight Howard's in another conference finals. James Harden's in another conference finals. Jason Terry is in another conference finals. A conference finals. Like, now that I mentioned Jason Terry, this is a perfect segue into the preview of the series that's going to start tomorrow in Golden State in San Francisco. Yeah. Here, like, and everybody's like hollering out sweep. We still talking about the NBA playoffs, man. As good as we want to believe that the Golden State Warriors are, those other dudes wearing red are professionals too. And I just mentioned to you the guys they have on their team, guys that aren't on that Golden State team who have seen this before. They've watched this movie before. They've starred in this movie before. You understand? So to just holler out, yeah, watch what happened to this Houston squad now, you can't necessarily carry one thing over from one series to another. Didn't we learn that from the Clippers when we thought they had arrived because they beat the quote-unquote defending champions? Yeah, how right were you guys about that? Yeah, one has nothing to do with the other. Yeah, I think the Clippers have found their championship medal, and they got it from the Spurs. Yeah, the Spurs gave them counterfeit. It was fool's gold is what the Spurs gave them. Idiots. Now look at them at home, looking at each other. Chris Paul mad at DeAndre, wishing he could beat him up, but knowing he can't. You know, that stupidness. So anyway, we got two teams that shoot the ball from three with like volume. They love the three ball. The better defensive team, obviously, the Golden State Warriors, for my money. The matchup that, as I mentioned Jason Terry a few seconds ago, the matchup that's going to be really, really interesting, or the matchup that we're not going to see, I should say, is probably more interesting than the one we will see. Patrick Beverley. You know, kind of all this drama going on. We kind of forgot about Patrick Beverley, but he's their point guard. He's their on-ball defender.
Sitting over there sad. He was looking sad yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be a part. Yeah, you want to be a part of that situation, man. But understanding that he still is, because they don't get to this point in the season without him. You know, they don't get to being the seed that they are without him. And obviously, you have an MVP candidate in James Harden that had a lot to do with it as well. But he's one of their main cogs, man. And the fact that now Jason Terry's starting for them, and I forget, whoever was doing the game yesterday, I got to do a better job of paying attention to who's doing these games, because they say things that at times are worth paying attention to. Like yesterday, talking about, it was Mark Jackson, as a matter of fact. It was Jackson and Van Gundy talking about how the fact that the same thing I said about Jeff Teague in the first hour, how Chris Paul should have been looking at Jason Terry like one of those hungry dudes in the cartoons. Like, they look at another dude and he just turned to a hot dog. That's how Chris Paul should have been looking at Jason Terry, and he didn't. Like, he should abuse Jason Terry, because he's not Patrick Beverley. He's a 17-year veteran who should in no way, shape, or form, and on his best day, matter of fact, in Jason Terry's best day, should have never wanted anything to do with Chris Paul. But Chris Paul didn't feel the need to be as assertive as maybe he should have been or could have been. Maybe the hamstring was bothering him a little bit more than he was leading on. He doesn't come across as a dude that's going to make an excuse anyway, so we won't know. But now, yeah, a dude that's not going to take it easy on you, period. Yeah, the mixtape, Steph Curry. Yeah, good luck, JT. Good luck with that, because now this dude's probably looking at this series. If you're Steph Curry, you're looking at the series like, yeah, it's just about me missing shots now. That's what it boils down to. It's going to boil down to me missing shots, because there's nothing that Jason Terry's going to be able to do to affect Steph Curry's shot in one damn way at all. I mean, the best you can hope for is him to try to get some back at the other end of the court, make Steph play some defense, fine. But as far as him staying in front of that dude for a 7-game series, if it goes that far, yep, effing joy. I'm good. But the matchup that I'm more so looking forward to seeing more than anything, I want to see Klay Thompson and James Harden, man. Yeah, I want to see that for. I wouldn't mind watching that for 7 games. Klay Thompson, who I believe has taken on that mantle of the best defensive two guard in the league, taking over that mantle from one Kobe Bryant. I want to see him. He and James Harden, do that thing, do that dance for a couple of games, and see where it goes. Some of the other matchups you're gonna want to take a look at. Draymond Green and Harrison Barnes. Like, who are they going to guard? Is Kevin McHale going to keep Josh Smith in the starting lineup? Is he going to continue to ride with that adjustment that he made in the Clipper series? Yeah, I think all those things are mad interesting. We're going to get a chance to see that tomorrow. Let me make sure I give you guys the schedule as well. I made sure I pull that up so that if I could, I don't know. Now I don't know how to pull it up.